Welcome back to another episode of Sabres vs. the Atlantic. My name is Jonah.
I'm Christian.
And in this series that we have been doing in the lead up to the 25-26 NHL season is pitting the Buffalo Sabres up against their Atlantic Division foes, talking about what their particular foe that week did in the offseason, who they brought in, who they lost, some of their key storylines going into the season, and then finally comparing lineups. So this week, as you saw by the title when you clicked into this episode, we're going to talk about the Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. 2-time now. They're going for a three-peat. Going for 4 in a row. Not to relitigate stuff, but man, that Alex Tuch offside goal in 2023 really just makes you wonder what NHL history could have been.
We don't need to rehash old wounds here. It's in the past.
And now
we lost one of our co-hosts.
And we lost JP. Well, it always happens when we do these episodes.
He's gonna throw his computer up against the wall.
I guess I'm more thankful that this doesn't happen for a normal Sabre Report podcast episode, but something about recording at night, I don't know. He needs a new computer.
I think this is one of our latest recordings, too. Maybe the Wi-Fi is,
probably
asleep.
Yeah, this is usually you are asleep, Christian, and JP was asleep. I had to wake JP up for this, surprisingly enough.
Had to hit him over the head with a frying pan to wake that boy up.
But back to the hockey teams. Yeah, it's since 2023, the Florida Panthers have just been, I don't even know how to describe it. They've just been the NHL. Like, it just runs through them. The Eastern Conference obviously runs through them. Now they've beaten the Edmonton Oilers in back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals, and many teams, including the Buffalo Sabres, are trying to replicate their team model, how their team plays, how it's built. They've become the model for everybody.
Oh yeah, they really have. Going back to that the little Cinderella run they had that first year, they snuck into the playoffs. I mean,
everybody was like, "Oh, that's cute," and then
and then they just beat up on didn't that Bruins team have an all-time record in regular season wins?
It's actually, it's actually kind of funny. Like, as a Bruins fan, you're almost rooting for this to keep happening, because at the time we were like, oh my God, this is one of the biggest choke jobs of all time. Best regular season team in NHL history, facing the 8th seed that just snuck in, and they blew a 3-1 series lead and lost in Game 7. We're leading in Game 7 with a minute to go. Obviously everybody had been dunking on them, and it still should. It's still funny, but obviously, now the Panthers, it's been shown that they were a sleeping giant, and here we are, 2 cups later, 3 cup runs later, and a 4th potentially in their sights.
Yep. And yeah, you saying that stuff about the Sabres trying to replicate this roster, that fast and physical element. Like when that team gets into the playoffs, man, when you face the Florida Panthers in the playoffs, you feel it up and down your lineup. They will come out and they will just start tearing heads off shoulders. And better yet, they will do it while they start burying pucks left and right. And they will just wear you down over the course of a game. And this is why they've made 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals, and everyone wants to be this team. I sure as hell want to. I just want to see a playoff game.
Yeah, you talk about how, when this team gets into the playoffs. I mean, the East still runs through them, but if you'll notice, we're doing this episode, and we still have 2 more teams to go after this. They finished 3rd in the Atlantic Division, but it just truly does not matter, because they are just they're playoff built. That's what they're built for, and that's, like I said, what everybody else has been trying to replicate. So it's almost like the regular season. You're 2 cups in. The regular season's a formality. It truly does not, really matter as much anymore.
Yeah, this organization's a well-oiled machine right now. Man, I don't think we're going to do too much debating this episode. This might be a quick one,
No.
folks. We might be in and out here in a tight 15.
You know, we said last episode, we had entered a different tier of talking about these teams because the Ottawa Senators made the playoffs, and I think, we're pretty clearly like a tier above the Montreal Canadiens, and then especially a tier above the Red Wings and the Bruins. Now, I think we've basically entered into the territory where we're just doing this for fun, just to like see, hey, did the Sabres do anything better? Can they do one thing better than this team? I think the Maple Leafs episode that we do, which will end up being our last one, that one will be interesting, just because of the Marner stuff, but and the fallout from that. But I mean, what are the odds that the Sabres, jump them in the standings? I still think, even if Mitch Marner's worth 10 standings points, their baseline is still like 90-ish. It's
Still got work to do.
I know you weren't too you're not too high on them, and that's not to say I'm too high on them either. I think just in terms of regular season standing, I think people maybe are underrating the Leafs a little bit. It kind of, as Bills fans, it kind of reminds you of the Stephon Diggs talk. Like, yeah, you lost one of the best wide receivers in the league, and in Marner's case, you lost one of the best players in the league, but you still have Austin Matthews. You still got William Nylander. You still got a very solid defensive group. You've got arguably the best tandem in hockey. But not to jump ahead too much. We're talking about the Panthers today. Like I said, not too much to really, go back and forth on. This is more of a question about, what, how are they setting themselves up for a third cup? I guess I'll ask you that right now. Do you think they can win the cup again? And I guess maybe the bigger question, because I'm assuming your answer is yes, does the East still truly run through them? Are they the best team in the East still?
No, of course. I think that they definitely could still make another cup run. I mean, they've won back to back now. It's like, how could you not? How could you pick against that team? It's just they've done it twice, 2 times in a row. They get to the playoffs and they just start winning games. And if you're telling me the East still runs through the Panthers, I'm gonna say, well, yeah. I mean, you win the Stanley Cup. I mean, yeah, without even though you didn't win a division title last season. I mean, you're still that team to beat. I mean, would you rather have a division title? Or would you rather have a Stanley Cup? I think that choice is obvious. It is a little weird because Jesus, I'm stuttering like a maniac right now. I apologize for anyone listening to this at home right now.
He's just terrified. He's terrified of these Florida Panthers.
I'm terrified of these Panthers. What I was trying to get at was I think it's going to be a little bit interesting this year, just hearing the recent news that Matthew Tkachuk is going to be out until at least December. I mean, like I said, this team is a well-oiled machine. Do I think they could win without him in the short term? Yes. Do I think that he's an integral part of that team and that organization? Also, yes. So they need him back. I really think they need him back at 100% if they're going to make another deep run, which I think they will. But when it comes to regular season standings, yeah, I mean, you might see him. You never know. You might see a little stuttering earlier in the year. Cup, you could get a little bit of that, Stanley Cup fatigue that you see out of some teams. But hey, like I said, they've done it twice already, so it's like, when's the fatigue showing up? It's like the Chiefs, It's like, oh, they've won back to back now. It's like they're going for 4 in a row. It's like, is the fatigue gonna show up or not yet? And you just keep waiting around, and they keep winning games.
Well, it's also a question of how much can they really keep around. I mean, I don't think it's if you use the Chiefs as an example, they have probably gotten progressively worse through every Super Bowl appearance and win, just because it costs money. It costs money to pay these players, and obviously a big, arguably the free agency was so boring this year because the Panthers kept all the good free agents. They re-signed Sam Bennett, they re-signed Brad Marchand, and they re-signed Aaron Ekblad. They got all of them.
On discounts.
All of them on discount. I wonder how.
Right.
I wonder how they did that. I really wonder. Did you see Brad Marchand's comments in the media today about his
Canadian
contract number? Yeah.
About
what
his,
the comparable
the
would be.
Why are they making those comparisons, Jonah?
I don't know.
Is there something going on?
Very interesting.
Did I miss something?
But they kept all of those players, and while it's an amazing achievement, that is still going to have ramifications on the rest of the roster. So, we can just let's just jump right into that. What exactly, with re-signing all of those key players, how was the rest of the roster affected? And we'll start with their departures. I mean, if you want to talk, we'll start with their biggest loss, Nate Schmidt, veteran defenseman. He left in free agency. I believe he went and signed with Utah. But then from there, it's still mostly just depth pieces. I mean, I think the only NHL pieces were Nico Sturm, who was a fringe guy, Vitek Vanacek, who was their backup goaltender. But aside from that, I mean, Tobias, Bjorn Foot, Jacob Megna, and I threw Rasmus Asplund in there because he did play.
Sabres legend.
He played a handful of NHL games. But everybody on the right side of the screen, those guys, I think, totaled 30 games at most. I mean, the guys that lost that played the most amount and lost, I mean, it's Schmidt, Sturm, and Vanacek, and I think we could probably both agree that Schmidt's the only legitimate piece that maybe has a ripple effect.
Man, I wanted him for this team before we had the whole. Wait, no, was the Peterka Kesselring trade before or after free agency started? I cannot remember.
It was before, but you still go back and forth about at that time we still thought Matthias Samuelsson might not have been returning.
This is true.
And Bowen Byram too. Bowen Byram, we thought for sure was getting traded. So yeah,
Nope.
Schmidt was obviously has a good resume, and now he's got the rings with Florida, so would have been a nice pickup, and that is
for sure.
It's a decent loss. It's a decent loss.
Yeah, if I'm looking at the comparisons to the key departures, the key additions, I would definitely say that they lost more, just because I value Schmidt and Sturm as much as I do. And I mean, you see them contributing down the stretch in the playoffs. I mean, Schmidt was a huge part of those cup runs. He was very, very equipped to bolster that back end down the stretch. And then you replace him with, I mean,
essentially Jeff
Petrie. That's it.
Yeah,
pretty
much. Petrie, who it's Detroit fans seemed like they didn't mind him, in a third pair role, and that's what he's going to play in Florida, and Florida has a system that has a knack for reviving careers. I mean, look at Seth Jones. I mean, not only did he play well, he play well, he turned into a monster at times. I mean, basically the Game 7 hero against Toronto. That's what well-oiled machines do with players.
It's funny when the shoe's on the other foot for once, when someone else's cornerstone franchise player that you pay a ton of money goes to another team and has more success. Mm-hmm. It's nice to not be the butt end of the joke for that one for once.
Yeah, it doesn't last long though.
No. You can only laugh for so long.
Otherwise, Nolan Foote and Daniil Tarasov, who he'll replace Vitek Vanacek most likely in the backup position. That's kind of the biggest NHL roster, implications in terms of additions. I mean, on the right, obviously you got all your PTOs that they just signed: Ben Harper, Tyler Motz, Josh Lapina, Daniel Walcott. But kind of just rounding out the fringes of their roster. It doesn't look like they lost all that much. I mean, Schmidt, like we said, Schmidt's a decent loss, but I think that's pretty replaceable.
Yeah, we're seeing some, deck shuffling here and there, which you see out of every NHL team in the offseason. They kept their core around. I mean, hell, didn't at some point during the offseason, didn't they think they were going to maybe lose Evan Rodriguez at some point?
Yeah, I think so. I think with the Kachuk injury, I think that buys them time. Obviously, I think they can throw him on LTIR, and I know people say, well, that's convenient. Well, it's obviously now with the new CBA, that's something
Can't do that anymore.
it's not going to carry into the playoffs. Maybe they get through the regular season, or maybe they get to like the trade deadline with cap gymnastics such as this. But yeah, most likely somebody's going to have to go eventually, or somebody's out long term, or maybe they just shut Kachuk down for a full season. Seems like he's been dealing with injuries forever now. But I mean, yeah, as of now, it's not a bad resume in terms of the ins and the outs.
Mark Stone can't have his normal January to April vacation anymore with the new cap rules in place.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's touch a little bit more on those key storylines. So, like we mentioned, the biggest roster-wise, or at least individual player-wise, or player-related storyline, it's Matt Kachuk. But, given that he's only going to be out for a couple months, it's not really concerning in terms of their full season. It's just how are they going to operate without them? Is it going to hinder their standings? Are they going to come slow out of the gate and maybe even drop out of top 3 in the division now?
Never know. It's a long season. I think the answer is in the room for them, though. I think they got I think they got the horses to replace him in the short term until he comes back. Hopefully, they don't have to shut him down for the whole season, but there will be a felt absence in the locker room, and it will affect them in some capacity. But I think this team prevails through that. I can't bet against a team that just won back-to-back cups.
I would agree. The last 2 storylines, it's just kind of playoff related stuff. Could the core be tired out from 3 consecutive deep playoff runs? We're talking about Barkov and Reinhart and Ekblad and obviously Kachuk. Are those horses going to be a little bit worn down from? I mean, trying to think now. I mean, it's 3 straight seasons. You're playing 80 games a season, plus add at least, I don't know, roughly how many extra games you play in the playoffs, like 25 to 30. It's a lot of hockey. So you just wonder, time's undefeated. Is this the year that they slow down? And then kind of just on top of that, is the 3-peat possible? And biggest of all, is anybody going to be able to dethrone them?
The Buffalo Sabres. No, I can't even make that joke.
Imagine
day
they
I'll
did,
be
though.
able to make that
Hold
joke.
on. I want you to close your eyes.
Shut my eyes.
Picture yourself. It's a beautiful sunny day in late April. First round series.
Shorts and Jersey weather, am I hearing?
Shorts in Jersey weather.
Thank
the dream
God.
has come true. Not only did the Sabres break the drought, but you are witnessing playoff hockey against the Stanley Cup champions. And I want you to picture this. It's Game 7. They're in Florida. It's overtime. Somebody flings the puck on net. Could be anybody. Could be Justin Danforth. Could be anybody. Be anybody. And it goes into the net. Jubilation. First playoff series win since 2007. How does that sound?
And then a pipe bursts in the ceiling and rains down water on all of us. No, it's... Man, it's the dream, man. I feel like it's bucket list for me. I mean, listen, I'm 24 years old. I've never been to a Sabres playoff game before, as sad as that sounds. I remember playoff games. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I remember watching playoff games. But I was like, what, 10? It's been way too long. So...
what's funny about that scenario is, it's basically what Hurricanes fans lived through in 2019 because they took down the Capitals in Game 7 overtime. Just another reason I, despise them. They have nothing bad ever happens to them. Except
it's all sunshine and rainbows down there.
Except when they get to the 3rd round.
Why? What happens in the 3rd round?
Well, let's ask the Panthers. All right.
They know what happens.
They definitely know. All right, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's compare these lineups. So, as always, these lines, courtesy of the Daily Face-Off. We'll start with the Sabre side of things. First line, Benson, Kulik, Thompson. Then Zucker, Norris, Tuck. Doan, McLeod, Quinn. Greenway, Krebs, and Danforth. Byram and Dahlin on your top pair, but then Power and Kesselring, Samuelson and Timmins, and then Luukkonen and Lyon in net. Your extras are Malenstein, Bryson, and Jones. On the Florida side of things, you've got Verhaeghe, Barkov, and Reinhart on the top line, Rodriguez, Bennett, and Samoskevich on the second line, Luostarinen, Lundell, and Marchand on your third line, Bachvist, Nosek, and Cunnin on your fourth. Defensively, you got Forsling and Ekblad on the top pair, Mikkola and Seth Jones on the second, then Kulikov and Petrie with Bobrovsky and Tarasov in net. Godovich, Greer, and Belinskis are your extras.
Like, what are we even doing here, man? Like, the literal only thing I could say that the Sabres have an advantage. There's one thing.
I think I know what it is.
They have, out of all the defensemen, they have the best defenseman.
Number
one defenseman.
I would definitely
That
agree.
is literally it. Nothing else. And I love Tage Thompson. I love Alex Tuch. I think they're great players. Hell, I even love Jason Zucker. You put them up against this, it's just, I'll believe it when I see it, man.
It's not fair for Luostarinen, Lundell, and Marchand to be a team's third line.
No.
It's just not fair.
That could pass as our first line.
Honest to God. Like, Tage Thompson goes down with an injury. I think the Florida Panthers' third line is better than anything the Sabres could ice.
100%.
Like, and that's as big fans of Benson and Kulich. Like, God damn, it's such a scary team. Like, they're
and the Bobrovsky career revival is just scary stuff.
Terrifying.
Unfortunately, we have to play this team, 4 times a year? 3 times a year?
4 times. And then after this, it'll be even more because we're going to an 84-game regular season.
Right.
With possibly more divisional games. I mean, you would think it's more divisional games. I don't know.
Now send them out west again. And give them another West Coast trip.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, not a lot to say here.
What else can you say? Yeah,
really
what else can you really say?
Like, arguably their best player. I don't think he's their best player. At least, last year he wasn't. Their best player is arguably on the sidelines. Like, it's such a stupid luxury to have. Like, I guess, like, on paper, like, Rodriguez, Bennett, Samoskevich isn't, like, the greatest second line in the world, but, Makachuk's, back on the way, and Bennett was obviously, he was great in the regular season, obviously MVP of the playoffs, and then, we know what Rodriguez is, and Samoskevich had a great rookie year in the regular season. It's just, man. Bill Zito could have been Sabres GM.
Well, we chose the other guy.
What was his name? What was his name again?
I don't know. I think he's out in Seattle right now.
Yeah, doing God's work.
God knows what out there.
Get
this man out of the kitchen immediately.
Did you see that, like, contention, like, window open versus closing graph today circulating on hockey Twitter? Like, Seattle was in window closed. Like, I don't even think their window they had 1 year where the window was open, and man,
the Sabres moved from, like, that window, like, kind of opening back to, like, that rebuilding phase, and someone commented that this is the market efficiency for a team, which is true.
It's a good way of putting it. All right, just want to get this over with. Your closing thoughts.
We're done with this. We're done with this shit.
Well, we're talking strictly regular season wise. Last year the Panthers finished 47, 31, and 4. That was third place in the Atlantic, 98 points. Do we see them finishing higher or lower than that?
You said 97 points?
98.
98?
97. It was 98, though.
I'm going higher. I don't even care that Tkachuk is out.
Do you think division titles within...
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I think it's going to be either them or... Either them
Tampa's good, man. Tampa's good.
Yeah, I think it stays in Florida. I was the Maple Leafs flashed in my head quickly, but I'm just like,
I can still
I
see
forgot
them
they lost
doing
Marner.
it. Like I know,
I can too. I could 100%
Yeah.
see them doing it, but
it's like I hate I don't. It's not like it's the Leafs. I hate them, but it's funny to see. I get it. You lose Mitch Marner and you lose him for. I mean, well, it wasn't nothing. I mean, they got Nick Waugh back, but you lose him for that amount. And they had a decent offseason. Michelli's interesting. Obviously, got Nick Waugh coming in, but yeah, I get it. You lose Mitch Marner, you got some question marks, but like I said, like great tandem, really solid defense. You still got Austin Matthews, who was hurt last year, healthy season. Like,
and
that could
according
be
to
big
some
for
Leafs
them.
fans, they're going to get Connor McDavid next. So just wait for that shoe to drop.
What if he came to Buffalo? What if he did it?
Righted all the wrongs of the past decade. We should have had him.
My first.
He was at Harbor Center signing autographs. God.
Could have been him. Can you imagine having Connor McDavid and Josh Allen in the same sports city?
Dude. The crest would have been so back. It will be back. It'll be back.
There's an alternate history. Could have had McDavid and Patrick Mahomes. That's true. There's an alternate universe out there where the best players in, I mean, obviously, some of our friends will contest that Mahomes is not the best, and he's not the best QB right now. But obviously, for a time, he definitely was, and now he's just among the elites. Yeah, like you could have had McDavid and Mahomes in the same city. That is ridiculous to think about.
And the Bandits just ripping titles.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Man, what could have been? It's the next universe over. Just that close.
This is what the Florida Panthers do to someone. Like they're so
they
good.
Put your mind in a pretzel.
They're so good. You have to conjure up false realities where everyone that you're just collecting generational talents like they're the Infinity Stones.
You mean I can't live in my delusion all the time? I think I'm going to. All right, McDavid's coming to Buffalo. He's not coming to Buffalo.
I would personally make sure Tim Murray was invited to that press conference where he's introduced.
Heal all the past wounds.
Yeah, I look at that roster and it is so good on paper. I think, yeah, maybe I'll have more clarity once we do Tampa Bay next week, because I feel like those are the two gunning for the division. But yeah, I mean, that Florida team, they're just so good. I mean, like I said, it remains to be seen. When Kachuk comes back, they'll have to make a roster move, which will probably, it seems like Evan Rodriguez is the guy on the way out. So we'll see what they do from there. But I mean, yeah, like they're primed for at least another couple round wins.
Yeah.
And maybe the division title.
And if anyone out there listening to this could give us like their comments on anything that could be like, comparable to rosters, please just comment it, because I'm just curious, because I can't think of anything. I literally can't think of anything other than the Rasmus Dahlin thing. That is it.
Owen Power is better than Mikkola.
I think they're both strong in different ways. I think Power is more offensive.
Is better than Mikkola. He is better than Mikkola.
Mikkola is better physically.
I will stand by that.
Okay. Fair
That's
enough.
about it.
Fair
like,
enough.
Is Owen Power better than, the Florida Panthers, Seth Jones? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we got a whole season of hockey coming up. We'll see.
We'll find out. We'll find out which team is better.
Yes, we will. Probably pretty quickly.
Yeah, we definitely will. All right, that's going to do it. Like Christian said, any Panthers fans or even just general NHL fans, if you're listening in, You're listening on YouTube, be sure to comment down below. Tell us what you thought. If you do think the Sabres do something better or have something, have a strength that the Panthers maybe don't, be sure to tell us that. But other than that, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you guys next week. We'll talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I'll say right now I'm bringing Jesse back on the show to discuss that. So,
oh boy,
that should be fun. It was funny. I was talking to him, and he was talking about, or how did this come up? Well, I was just like, we're doing the Panthers episode this week, and then the Tampa episode the next week, and he just starts going in on the Panthers, saying how it was, bullshit that Ekblad, didn't get tossed from that game, and he scored the game winner, and that basically decided the series. He was funny, but we'll have him on the show to discuss Tampa next week. So, until next time, see you guys later. Take care.